Hi everyone. We'll wait for a couple of more minutes to begin. Hi everyone. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. Thank you. Hi everyone. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to ICM Academy. Today is it's one of the deep discussion about the correlation between the Bitcoin and gold. Myself, Sai Mahesh. Today we're going to cover what is the basics about Bitcoin, how is it forecasted, what are the factors involved in the Bitcoin, and we're going to look into the gold factors, what are the influence been impact on the markets, and we're going to see some correlation of this. If you say that before I begin, I'd like to give some small introductions about ICM, where you can get some knowledge about what exactly ICM provide. ICM is established in 2009 in London. So we have a multi-regulated service provider. We're offering currencies, commodities, stocks, indexes, CFDs, futures, and the cryptocurrencies. With multiple platforms, we can able to trade in MT4, MT5, and C-Trader and ICM securities. So to brushing up more on ICM, so we have, as I said, like multiple regulations, which we have FCA, ADGM, we have FSC, FSA, as well as FSCA, as well as So as I want to like to give an information that all opinions, analysis, views, and information mentioned in this webinar is only so for educational purpose and should not be taken as a signal whether to buy or signal or sell a certain financial instruments. So basically, HISM does not provide any kind of investment advice. So let's begin. Like we have more than 5,000 plus investment products to trade. And moreover, we have a civil liability insurance protection for trading accounts, an award-winning platform like MT4, MT5, seated and ISIM securities. We have a platform, the providers has a ISIM cashier to facilitate your funding methods and withdrawal methods. Moreover, we have MAM, PAM accounts for fund managers who can able to handle the dedicated platform for handling the funds for the clients. And also we have ultra fast executions on the trading platforms. All right. So let's see today how exactly the Bitcoin want influence the markets now, and it's a hot topic basically. The future of Bitcoin's price remains a hot topic. So I like to highlight in basic things slowly, and we'll go into the comparisons, and we'll try to forecast how the Bitcoin is going to be in coming days, coming months. So when talking about the future of the Bitcoins, like they are influenced with major factors. You can see now the Bitcoin is almost a all-time high, like almost $99,000 touched. So when you say the factors or the major factors I have been want to like to discuss, there are many factors inside of fundamentally or technically or logically, but still I like to highlight some few factors which really the market is impact. So in talking about the first one is approval of spot Bitcoin exchange trade funds, which is ETF in US. So that's the major one of the factors. When you say about like what can say the approval is one of the major significant of markets, the Bitcoin price movement, which increase the institutional participants are more high into the ETF markets. Next, we can say the April 2024 as marked as a much anticipated Bitcoin block rewarding halving. So that's also one of we are in previous webinars we have discussed about it, a deep discussion about how it happens, and moreover it is impact the markets, and we are going to see some touch base about this point of halving. So that will also give some knowledge about how the Bitcoin has been moved almost all-time high. And next is like a US 2024 presidential elections that Trump has been re-elected. So building up this movement, like 2024 US president election saw that Donald Trump re-elected and what brought within the optimism of pro-crypto administrations, as you know that. Trump campaign promising that fueled the positive sentiments among the investors, including the pushing the US as a leader of cryptocurrency innovation, and you can say potentially establishing the national Bitcoin reserve. This potential shift is seen as a catalyst for further Bitcoin adaptation to price stability. So one of the major factors we can see, and that too, Bitcoin has been drastically moved this year, this month, November especially, after the election result of US. Next is the macroeconomic factors. Macroeconomic factors has played a significant role. As you can see, the Federal Reserve Bank Reserve decision to cut the interest rates. You've seen the cut was happened a few months back, and early in this year, it invested towards the Bitcoin as edge against inflation. So that is also a kind of development. A challenges persist on so that adoption of the Bitcoin as certain regions relying on that, algorithmic remains more concerned about the Bitcoins. As you know, the Bitcoins evolves the role of global financial instrument because it's been increasingly widened in there. So when you say the regulations of news and market sentiments, against because when the Bitcoins things have been evolved and is coming up with some kind of regulations, liberalization has happened with a different region that helps Bitcoin to move further and giving a more volume of trading into the Bitcoin side. While external factors such as geopolitical tension or global markets dynamics could influence Bitcoin, it is a historical lens of adapting suggestion or giving a suppress expectations of the market's movement. So looking ahead, that obviously from the expert, we can say that the crypto market is entering a new growth of cycle compared to other products, other asset management or asset wealth management, potentially peaking, especially on this year, 2024, and expecting a more focused on 2025, according to the historical, the 4-year cycle of theory. So when I like to give the 4-year life of 30, the most important thing is I want to highlight here is that uh, the Bitcoin halving happened here. So what is Bitcoin halving? Many people doesn't know, because one of the major factor I can see, apart from the other factors or influence the market like US election, macroeconomic, geopolitical tension, or apart from this Bitcoin halving is one of the major factors, because I'm going to give a witness here where we can able to find how exactly this kind of movement happened in Bitcoin, and this has been cycled every 4 years. That is a greatest witness which is shown in the market's history. So let's see what is Bitcoin halving. So it has been happens every 4 years. So Bitcoin network experience even known as halving. The Bitcoin halving occurs every rewarded for mining Bitcoin transaction is cut into off. So basically, what does mean that when there is a cut of mining happen, reward happens. So the supply when reduced and there is a lot of pressure or maybe the volume increase on this. The Bitcoin halving is a pre-programmed event that has already been planned. Now it's 2024. It has been happened in April. So next again after 44 years, 2028 is going to happen. So this is going to be hand haven mining until the 210,000 blocks have been completed. So this is what exactly they've been expected. And it has also reduced the rate where the coins have been half of will be reduced. So I'm going to show you a small clarification details here, so which will help you on that. So you can see the history about what has happened from the first time of the halving happened here. Bitcoin happens in 2012, November 28th. It was rewarded of like reward down was 50 BTC. It has come cut to 25 BTC. So when say about 2016 July 9 it was happened, from 25 BTC it has come down to 12.5 BTC. That's Bitcoin. And in 2022 20 sorry May 11 2020 it has been 12.5 and it has been cut to 36.25. And in 2024, which was like 19th April, 6.25 and has come down to 3.15. So this is a major break happens in every time the market has given appreciations, or you can see a bullish trend happens after this halving. This is one of the biggest witness we can see as what has happened in the Bitcoin. So in case of see in a correlation with the chart, which will be easy to understand how it has been impact. So when you're talking about the first halving at 2012, which has happened, so you can see the bullish trend happens after that, and after the November 28th, and again the second one has happened at July 9, 2016. Again the appreciation happens here, and in third halving it is 2020, which is also appreciation happens here, and this in 2024 April, and it's couldn't able to give the chart properly, but you can see it was around 65,000 at the time of April, and now it's almost 99,000. It's almost touching 100,000. That's been. So these are one of the biggest witness we can see in history of halving, which also helps the Bitcoin to move further and forward. So before 2028, even if you see that 4 years of gap, the market was gradually increasing, improved, but that the scene of 28%, 30% movement, which happens seen in only in October, November, it is fantastic. It was given a rational move, and it has been climbed markets in such a way. So apart from this, there are other factors to be talked on here, factors which value of the Bitcoin. So there are numerous factors can influence the Bitcoin price movements. Unlike many alternative coins are there, Bitcoin often set a trend for the cryptocurrency markets. That's a major thing. So less depending on the performance of other digital coins, because when the Bitcoin is moving forward, obviously other alternate coins also will be getting follow with the same way. So when Bitcoin remains sensitive to the universal markets influence, such as we can say interest rates or significant of developments of the crypto sectors, particularly those are major players like Ethereum or Shibu. For example, you can see Ethereum announced the merge phase with the transaction of influence the markets merging phase. As well, Bitcoin also has like an asset basically, right? That's what we feel right now, because it's looked like a way the market has traveled from a decimal level, and within 1 decade of 10 years of time, it's seen appreciation this much. So significantly, it shows that the cryptocurrencies has a border exchange, and there's been blockchain advertisements are there, and you can say the surge in the happens with that wider way. So innovative technology advancement are coming over there in this kind of crypto. For example, you can see the major corporations are from Tesla. They are trying to adopt the Bitcoin for their business. Microsoft, we can see Starbucks. Even Starbucks have been announced that they could start accepting the Bitcoin as a payment for leading the shop increase in the value. So these are the main reasons. So when start having more minings in the market, definitely there. So when you say about the three important role of ETF, which I tell you, right, told you that is exchange traded funds. So in talking about the exchange traded funds, the three categories which are the main reason which also move the markets or value of the Bitcoin will be increased drastically. So when you're talking about the increased demand or FOMO and momentum and market sentiment liquidity, these are the three of the major value factors which are going to be used in ETF. So increase in demand. What is increase in demand basically? So Bitcoin ETF as a broader like markets attract investors who were previously hesitant to navigate, but now due to the increase of demand, obviously the less complexity is there with the cryptocurrencies. So demand has been created by the ETF has been directly impact the Bitcoin spot price because these funds needed to hold the Bitcoin to back their stash. So next is the FOMO and the momentum. The what's basically FOMO is nothing but the fear of missing out. So basically, what like as a spot Bitcoin ETF, trigger the significant of usage, where this psychological drive leads a rapid growth of the markets and accelerating the price to the increases, and which is almost surged to $99,000 in this November. So, for example, like both has like FOMO which has on with the VTF, which is also drive the market for easy accessible from the traders. So market sentiment liquidity, obviously, when there's a push in the markets, when there is a volatility is in the market and surplus movement is in the market, ETF also has a played a improved market liquidity because very easy because a lot of crypto exchanges come now. So easy to buy and sell your cryptos, and especially in Bitcoins, easy to access to smoothen your transactions. So, however, large scale inflow or outflow, the ETF hold the major case and positive sentiments within the sentiments in the markets, as well as increase the ETF to use the Bitcoin's appeal and driving additionally a speculation investments. So these are the major, we can say, which is also a major case for a value of the Bitcoins. So when you say other factors, future of Bitcoin, what could be the future of Bitcoins? How exactly the future of Bitcoin is going to be taking forward? How is going to be impact and how is going to be rollover in this? I've been noticed like three other things which I compared myself, like three things. One with gold or silver, or I can say one with like mining happens with the Bitcoin. And how about the long-term holders are blocking their profits? Basically, if I'm as a Bitcoin trader or crypto trader, so I look into the factor like how comparison with other products. So when you say Bitcoin price, the value of 1 kilo gold as the market price exceeds the silver, you can see from the chart where you can see the Bitcoin has been moved forwarded from mid cap value from silver to above the silver. So you can see the chart. It's almost like 1.710 trillion, but Bitcoin has moved to 1.738. Still, gold has a higher level to be reached, but still, comparison has been laid, and now the market has moved further. So when you're talking about the current Bitcoin as such to like 27%, which has reached almost all-time high of $99,000 after many reasons like Donald Trump's heading towards stepping into White House, or we can say like market capitalization compared with the silver, and we can say even still it can consider asset like called as we can say as a digital gold. We can say in comparison because gold as an asset and a physical gold still, but you can say as a digital gold from my knowledge. So now the value of this approximately is 1.73 trillion. The Bitcoin is a world eighth largest asset. So edging with the silver. So obviously, like you can see what kind of market gap is being seen in this market, and almost like gold's market gap is about $17.4 trillion. So these are the one seen I can see when I'm comparing with the future of the Bitcoin. And next, what I've been seeing in this like Bitcoin miners. So mining is always a major part from the beginning of the Bitcoin's era, where Bitcoins on the chain and data, like you can say, Bitcoin has reaches a record high. Bitcoin miners have moved more than 45,000 BTC to the exchange since November. So this is also one of the reason, like the market, the value of the price has been hit like $99,000. So which all included with all the future informations, like the miners moved this Bitcoin this much, and every month they keep having a new recorded, which although the miner transferred like 45,000 overall the BTC, which also $4 billion dollar of current price. So this is all the major reason we can say the prices keep moving. So larger the transfer of the exchange often indicate the potentiality, or miners might have aiming to take advantage of larger size of such, or how it be provided. So these are one of the various operation needs, and also the movement happens with reflecting the internal wallet restrictions and all stuff. So this is another one. So last one, which I notice, is a long-term holds for locking the profits. Obviously, when they're long-term investors, there are many investors who have been bought the Bitcoin from the base. Even market has been, if it says after the second halving happens, like $2,500, or we can say 5,000 or 10,000. Even still, after 65,000 of the last halving happened, and their big volume has been created. So since from November, since November, the Bitcoin market has been entered the phase of significant profit taking. So obviously, with a daily realizing profit average of $5 billion, so marking a very highest profits levels in over the month, and especially in this November month, according to the data which the expert has been provided. So many investors seen being locking the game after one of the most impressive runs with the Bitcoin's history. So historically, such trends often indicate the potential price peak or the start of consolidation phases. So obviously, whenever it touch a new high, expectation high, for example, there was the news keep coming from even the market touch 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. There was always a focus point was there like 100,000. So it's almost like $99,500 is being reached. So these are the sentiments and features of Bitcoin, which as a strong move, which help the markets to move, and still depends on these factors. Expectation of the Bitcoin still higher, and the volume of the Bitcoin will be still more, and expectation will be there. All right, this about Bitcoins. Let's move on to the gold. So when talking about the gold, yellow metal, even there are major factors are there, and everyone knows about it, because gold is not a new asset product. It's been traditionally been there for many years and years. So I see that the major factors of the gold, where you can say gold and inflation, gold with interest rates, protection against volatility or consumptions or demand, geopolitical factors, or weakening dollar. So these are the major factors I've been seeing here. So when talking of the gold inflations, gold is basically a hedging product, right? So for example, when the inflation price reacts, or numbers react, so obviously gold is a only a product or only asset which can able to option of hedging the products. So typically the value of gold rise when the cost of living rises. So when the inflation rises, the value of the currencies goes down, especially when, for example, any against currencies goes down with the dollar or other major currencies. So therefore the people tend to hold money in the form of gold. So it looks like a safe haven for them actually. So when talking about the interest with the gold, interest rate, the gold. So under any normal circumstance, there's a negative relation between the gold and interest rates, obviously, because a rising yield indicates that expectation of the strong economic, that's the stronger the economic gives a rise of inflation. So gold is used to be a hedging against the inflations. So that is also one of the major factors whenever there is a change in interest rates. If you see last 2-3 years, there was a rise in the interest rates with Federal Reserve Bank from US, and slowly the market started cutting the interest rates, so which also impacted slowly on the gold, which also looks like a perfect a fixed income investment. Next, coming to the protection against the volatility, like that is also more important thing, but many people invest in gold to protect themselves from their uncertainty in case of any recession happens in the markets, or any kind of for example underlying for use of hedging. Especially the performance of the physical assets makes investors view as a safe haven. So that is also one of the major factors. Consumption demand. So gold has certainly has a central role in the many countries and cultures. If you take for many countries, if you take for Asian countries like India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, many countries has become as one of the safest store of value, a symbol of wealth, or we can say status of fundamental part of many rituals. So this is also one of the major role of a country rule population deeply depends on gold, which has practically considered as a profitable and security of the jewelry of the instruments investments. So gold plays a very central role on person to person events too, actually. So this is also one of the reasons. And coming to geopolitical factors, gold usually does well and during a geopolitical turmoil because crisis, in this case of crisis like wars, or you can see the few things kind of geopolitical things we have been seeing from Russia and Ukraine, and we recently seen with Israel, with Palestine. So these are the tension which created in the market. So the only thing has that like gold is only the option which we choose, and the price since the demand of the gold goes up on a safe haven. Again, the last one which I see is weakening the dollar. So under any circumstance, gold of the silver, the gold with the dollar it's an inverse relationship basically. When a dollar gets weak, the gold price goes up. When gold price come down, and the gold dollar gets stronger. So there's a correlation with this. So increase of demand of the commodities like gold, or you take for silver or any commodities, it also increase the price. Secondly, the US dollar starts losing the price value. Obviously, they'll feel that investing in alternate channel, which is only the gold they choose by any of the investor or institutional investors, or you can say any central bank, even they try to prefer to go for a kind of reserve of gold in the markets. So this is the main thing which I see. So when you're talking about historical price of the gold, which is from 1883 to 1849, the price just it was 18.93, and you can see gradually from 1945, 1972, or 1980, 210, 220, 22, 23, and 24. A drastic change happened from 2010 years onwards, from 122 4.53 to now it's 223. It's average price I'm talking about. Almost gold reached almost 2,700 levels. Now the average price is, and now it's trading around 2,600 or 700, something like that. But if you see the price of the gold of every gap of years, a period of years, you can see a rise in the price. Obviously, gold has a value, gold has a characteristics, gold has a traditional historical performance which has been shown. So this also gives one kind of hint on your mind, like how the gold has been reacted. One never knows. 2025 it can be more because there are a lot of geopolitical tensions, other factors, or which I we discussed before, can impact the markets on this way. So these are the one of the things we would like to discuss. Where next is like what to remember as a gold price fall. Yes, because now the current scenario of the markets, since the Bitcoin has given a all-time high, and if you say compare with the gold, we've seen the market has been give a small type of correction happens in it. So I see like three important points to be noted here when the market's gold price falls. One, the price drops are very common. Even if you see any of the year comparing from the bottom to the top level, or even we see in few years which seen almost a downside trend, it's basically a common factor which I see in the markets, especially in the gold. So gold is an inflation hedge, you know that. So knowing to provide the buffer when the stocks or bonds or any kind of wealth management product, or maybe in the real estate add a bad or a downside performance, obviously there will be a kind of investment goes on alternate with other is gold. So dropping of 5% or 10% is basically a very common one, and often is a temporary one of corrections. Obviously, gold will have again has a volume to pick up to push the market in upside direction. That was we seen in the history of the markets. So when you say about like what we can say the price which were a safe haven, so obviously that is also one of the bigger factor, because market has been dropped from 2,600 to 2,500 almost now from top. So it's basically it's a recent in November especially the price of the gold is common. So obviously like safe haven is a gold. So next factors I've seen is that the price is unlikely to fall to where it was. So exactly, because where the price has been picked up, it has to come normal to that price. So we're seeing a 10%, 20%, or 15%. It's no surprise of markets falling to that price. Doesn't mean that market has a one-side direction to go further down on the in a negative scenario. So the price, unlike to be even if we see some drop of $100 under a few $100, it's just a temporary perspective. So investors wait for the cheaper level or a lower level, identically to buy in a proper price where it be a a pushback will be there in the markets. So this is all the common thing which I see when the market falls in the gold markets. All right, so let's look into a comparison now, so which also will help us to take some decisions or to understand more on perspectives on what to do in gold, what kind of action to be taken, how the forecast is going to be in gold versus Bitcoin. Here, what you should know where when investing in rising in rising the assets. So where I see here some kind of correlation between the Bitcoin and like a gold. So whenever the halving happens, so we can see this is the first one. I'm not sure the visibility is good in the chart, but this is the first halving happened here. So we can see when the halving happened, the Bitcoin was still steady to move on, which is the first time it happens 2012. But there's a drop happened in the gold price. And if you go compared to the next one, you can see it was happening year. So again the gold was dropped again. So basically it's again the market is picked up, the gold market is picked up slowly comparison with this. It's just a small comparison that I'd like to share with it. There's no any fundamental things or more deep on it. There's no any comparison take on this, but still how the market move compare with Bitcoin and gold, that gives you some more clarity informations about that. So next one we can say in 2020, again this area, so where we can say that uh, a shoot up happens from in the markets in Bitcoin, especially you can say a sharp up happened here, and also in the gold there was not much drop, but still was a slight move, and there was long consolidation happened for a couple of years. And compared to now, like 2024, so this was a impact happens. There was a small correction happen in Bitcoin, but now after this, it was came around like $57,000 something after the halving, because it was 65,000. Now it's 99,000 almost reached. So you can see there is a big move. So both had a different characteristics and different way of movement. So understanding the Bitcoin and understanding the gold has a different factor. So definitely both has a value on a different way of perspectives, like depends on their demand created on the markets. So in this way, like I like to give you that what a main thing to be noticed here, comparing with these two products. So one is gold. The gold is a timeless asset that everyone knows about. So think in that point of perspectives, that gives you the more ideas how to invest, how to hold your gold assets. So when you're talking about the gold, the investor waiving merits or like gold versus Bitcoin, it's a long-term assets and has a lot of consideration. Both has delivered a significant returns on the last few years over the years. But this path has a different characteristics. Gold has a different, and the risk factor is different. And thinking in a diversifying this asset, here are need to know main thing. Right? So when talking about gold as a timeless asset, gold has a long view of safe haven. Historically, the stretch back thousands of years of reliable store of value is traditionally, and in case like it also gives a stability in your investment. Unlike cryptocurrencies or digital currencies, this has a speculation markets. It's a regulation shift are there in the markets. So mostly the gold as a hedging against inflation currencies. So obviously the favored choice of volatility or economic climates, this help you to hold your asset in form of gold. When it coming to digital format, like it's a Bitcoin, it's basically it's a new, it's more volatile options. So it's almost emerged in 2009, from the time. But gold has many years of history. But coming to Bitcoin, is just 2009 or 2010. That was a major year which emerging in this, which has world has speculation nature, because making it very risky, as well as compared to the comparison with other markets. So cryptocurrency has marked recently a surge recently because of a policy discussions, or we can say regulation part, or you can say the capitalization of the record happens in the markets, which is almost like, as I said, like $1 trillion of movement happens. So after the new regulation happen, after the new election of the US president, so this is a major which I seen as a market has a more comparison. So the bottom line is that like diversifying the investment, where that's the most important thing, because for those who are want have the option of investment like gold or Bitcoin, it should be expert much to be balanced approach. So, for example, holding both gold and Bitcoin, perhaps greater emphasis on stability. That is the most important because diversification is also important, and hedging against your market risk also very important. So both assets offer the opportunity, but required very careful considerations, checking out your financial information and financial advisors before taking any kind of related decisions within that. But we have seen the history that they are given a lot of returns in the markets in both. But again, taking action or depend on your risk management, depend on your risk capacity, and depends on the value of the period you try to hold, value of the time you're taking takes. That helps you to take proper decisions. So out of this comparison of Bitcoin and gold. So this is all about today. Hope you had a good information about the markets. So if you have any questions or any doubts, you can raise your questions on the chat. I'm happy to help you. Before ending up this webinar, I'd like to give the information again. This opinion and information on this webinar, it's not be taken as a personal advice on buying and selling on these products. Especially, ISIN doesn't provide any advice service for trading purpose. All right. Thank you, everyone. Any questions, please? All right. Thank you, everyone. That's it for today. We'll soon catch up with a new webinar with a new topic. If you all enjoyed, happy trading. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.